I'm Damien Kopp. I head Next Products and Platform. We are a part of NCS that's a bit special. We actually create brand new products from the ground up. We are a research lab in deep tech, and we actually also a product incubator. And some of what you'll see here is the direct results of years of investment and product incubation and market research. And so for those of you who may not be super familiar with NCS and what we do, we are one of the largest IT service provider in the region with more than 12,000 people, mainly in Singapore, but also expanding rapidly in Australia with also people across Hong Kong, China, Philippines, India, and soon Vietnam as well. Part of the Singtel family as well, as you can see here, hosting us today in their innovation center. So specifically what you'll see today is a bit of a showcase that's actually quite unique. You'll see more than 14 different robots provided by more than 10 different vendors. It's actually the biggest robot lineup you would see in the region. And this week, interestingly, there's actually the Robotics World Conference in Beijing, which you cannot go to, so because you're trapped anyways here, then you get access to actually a great lineup here of robots with different scenarios. We've been working in this area for the past few years now, and you may not know, but we have now accumulated quite a bit of experience, and in particular a lot of scars and a lot of learnings about deploying robotic solution. And it's not just about what you see, the cute little things that are actually working around here. It's also all the challenges to help automate effectively and ultimately a process end to end. And it goes beyond just the robot and what you see. And Kohan here will actually walk you through what are the challenges in implementing end-to-end intelligent robotic solution and how you could maybe bring them into your business to help you automate your day-to-day operations. Again, learnings, challenges, and importantly, experiencing what this robot can do in very different contexts, from security to logistics, transportation, and healthcare. And we're hoping we can bring that to life to you guys. And please ask questions. That's what it's for. After a few minutes of presentation, we'll be very happy to answer any questions and importantly, again, experience what it looks like and what it can do. So again, without further ado, I'll introduce Kohan here, who will actually take you through a few slides before you can actually see the live demos. Thank you very much.
Hi, very welcome again. My name is Kohan. I'm a product lead for NCS Robotics. So very quickly, the team and I started our journey in NCS in robotics just about 5 years ago. So over through these years, I think up to today we have accumulated enough experiences and capabilities to show you all what we have done, and then some of the most importantly the learnings that we've gone through. And then after that, you get to feel and touch some of these robots that we have curated for you today. Okay, so let me first go through some of the things. In 2021, it's an important year for us in the robotics space. Okay, some of these challenges for different economies, big or small, businesses, big or small. After that COVID period, we have seen the problems that comes back again, and some new problems. This is where things that you already know. Okay, even though borders have opened, those who have left to their family are less willing to relocate again. Those who are Asian population, slowly but steadily, we can feel that Asian population affecting every part of our lives. And then lastly, the perception of work is very different. I think a lot of us, as study shows, a lot of us will no longer accept working 5 or 6 days in the office for their career. Okay, this coincides with the maturity in robotics technology and affordability. Hence, you can see some of the cases that happens globally in how people automate a lot of the processes in every part of our daily lives. Okay, so this robot you see on your left, this is a California-based delivery robot called Starship. Some of you may know already. As of 2021, they have reached 1 million deliveries. Okay, I'm sure they are reaching a 2 million probably by the end of this year. And then Neuro, which delivers a small autonomous vehicle that delivers grocery to your doorstep, they ship over 1,000 vehicles, again in the States. Okay, once you have that in your life for 1 million times, I don't think you accept dealing with a delivery driver with the wrong attitude. Okay. Here in Singapore, we also see a lot of cleaning in facility management. Starting with CAG, Changi Airport, that's like almost 3-4 years ago, and then slowly going into shopping malls. I think school campuses and any place that has a large area within their premise. Okay, and then in Singapore, there are way over 300 of them around. It's a bit like your iRobot at home if you have one. Once you have that, I don't think you'll ever get rid of it. Okay, you'll just upgrade that model. And then lastly, Robotaxi. This is something that I'm very, very looking forward to. In Beijing, well actually not in Beijing, in China, Baidu is on their way to deploy 100,000 Robotaxis across 10 different cities. Okay, to me that's very, very exciting. We know in Singapore we will be getting 2 probably by the end of the year. They probably start piloting early or mid next year. I look forward to that because I really hate seeing going eye contact with a taxi driver through the back mirror when I'm singing my heart out at the back seat or crying my lungs out at the back seat. So yeah, that'll be a very exciting time for me. Okay, here in Singapore we are doing plenty busy too. Okay, if you haven't seen some of the news that's been around, since 2021, we have done a lot of different applications across many industries. Okay, these ones are mostly in public spaces, as you can see, not all of them. Okay, they really usually resolve around 3 different applications. These are businesses who need customer-facing labor. And then they are very hard to find them nowadays. Okay, these are businesses who do a lot of inspection and patrols, which they can't find anybody who wants to do these jobs. And then these are businesses who are dealing with delivery and internal logistics, who with the existing labor pool, they're very, very hard to fulfill these demands, especially during peak times. Okay, as we know that nowadays there's always e-commerce, you're shopping online. Any one of us would know someone who's addicted to that. So yeah, that will never go back as well to most of what we know. Now, I will dive into one deployment that I think everybody in our team is very excited about. But before I do that, anybody lives in Sentosa? Anybody who knows anyone who lives in Sentosa? Okay, I've yet to know someone who lives or know anybody who lives in Sentosa. So Grab came to us with this problem statement. Okay, they can't find drivers to serve their customers when they go to the beach in Sentosa. Okay, a very real problem. If you live in Sentosa, if you're a Grab driver and you deliver food to the beach in your Rolls Royce, you're probably an internet sensation. Okay, but anyhow, what we have done for Grab is obviously Grab is being a big super app that they also call it. They won't be able to change their business model or the operating model on how they deal with their business. This is how you order food in your Grab app. Okay, and this is also how merchants deal with the order through their app. Okay, so what we've done for them is we brought in these autonomous vehicles that delivers food, and then we also brought in a middle layer that they don't have to change the application. What they do is they send the order as they would to Robo Manager, and then we'll deal with that. So everything beneath it will be transparent to them. Okay, it doesn't matter what, whether today they use an autonomous vehicle that brings food to different pickup locations along Siloso Beach, for beachgoers to pick up their drinks, usually drinks and some food in some cases, or smaller robots in more urban and dense areas. Okay, everything will be centrally managed by Robo Manager and through the different robots that you may get to see today. Okay, So that was very exciting for us. The sort of the trial ended somewhere in June, end of June, and then we are looking at where else, whether we are going to expand this or how we're going to do it somewhere else. Okay, so you probably get to see that around a lot more. But I think the learning here with implementing robotics can be really categorized into two categories. Number one is the very physical stuff. When you buy physical stuff, physical robots, as you would with your car, with your phone, with your laptop. This is interoperability. What I mean is, how does that work with the IT systems in your operational workflow within your organization? How does it work with the building infrastructure that the robot has to go through within a physical premise? And this is also how you deal with other robots that is already running within the same premise. Okay, who take priority if you go through a narrow corridor, or who has priority when both of them call for the lift at the same time? This is also hardware performance. All the hardware, they are not built the same. We have over 14 today, so you get to see the performance. Everybody is slightly different, as you know, with cars and anything else. And then lastly, how you deal with network when things are disconnected. When you go into, you'll know, when you bring your laptop from one area to another, when you go into a lift, when there's no network, what happens to that? Okay, these are real physical issues. You can't just buy a hardware and then expect it to work perfectly within what your expectations are. And talking about expectation, the next section is really about people. Okay, these are usually dealing with people. So how do you integrate with people's workflow? This is very specifically usually the frontline staff. How do you change that workflow, and then how do you make sure that they are part of the stakeholders, really? Okay, so you have stakeholders in the frontline staff, you have stakeholders above management who expect things to work and expect certain returns and expect certain results, and you have these peers who also will be affected, which we also have to manage. So if you are an operational user and you procure let's say a robot that helps you deliver things from A to B, how do you make sure that this goes into the IT compliance? Okay, how do you make sure that the building management is happy with it? How do you make sure that health and safety, certain things, there will be a checklist? Okay, in our case with Sentosa, we don't just deal with these, or with Grab in Sentosa, we don't just deal with this with SDC, Sentosa Development Corp. We also deal with that with LTA too. Okay, so this is everything that we deploy. We will face all these real life problems. Okay, and then this takes time to learn, and then to negotiate a little bit, and then before we get to something that is very transparent, because automation and robotics, like any technology, the better it is, the more transparent you will be in your personal or professional lives. Okay. Now, today I think I've already talked enough. Today is really about all this is really about giving you guys the chance to really feel and touch the robots, and then see them in action, see the different applications, like I mentioned earlier, that we have accumulated over these few years, and then some of the things. And so please feel free to touch them. Please don't break them. No, they're not that easy to break. But yeah, we are crowded though. So, but before that, there is some of the things that we do before you go to see the robots. These gaps that you have between getting a robot into your operations, we have, whether the back gap is big or small, we have solutions to fit those. So starting from design services, if you can't find a robot in the market that fits your operation, we can design and build to whatever that is required. We have the internal capabilities to do that in-house. We also have, if you know, NCS also have a big SI arm that has the consultancy arm too, that designs the workflow process and the business process re-engineering, how you fit into that. In the center, this is one of our core products, where we ensure that it doesn't matter how many robots you have today, how how many robots you have in the future from different suppliers, from different manufacturers globally. They will work seamlessly together. And lastly, if the gap is a commercial one, of you have investment concerns in procuring different robots, we do have a few robots under our Robot as a Service program, where we provide rental services for businesses that only need to pay them on a monthly rental basis. I really hope that is enjoyable for everybody. Good? 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 Was that enjoyable? Was that? Okay, so what you seen again, what you saw today was 12 robots, including the big police robot downstairs. When you hopefully you saw it when you were getting your stickers. So 14 robots from over 10 different manufacturers and brands in different parts of the world. I won't say different parts of the world. It's primarily China and US. Okay. So what these have in common today is what is controlling them. Okay. So as we know that in our everyday lives and actually more professional lives, we can't accept anymore having dealing with different systems and different user interfaces when you're dealing with similar things. I think everybody can only deal with a couple of different systems in your professional life and also in your daily life. No longer are the days where you have a drawer that has all the different cables for charging different electronic devices. Okay, we all expect everything to work on the one interface. You only learn things once, and then every once sooner or later it gets some patch upgrades. Okay, so in order for that to work, I think what we have as the core products is connecting all these different robots brands and types from all around the world, and then we make sure that all our users can monitor them centrally. Doesn't matter what robots, what applications in different kind of industries that you see, and then and you can also combine and control them when you need to. More importantly, we also consolidate the data that comes in from different robots. We know that it doesn't matter whether in data processing or any kind of data that is generated, you can only manage them, you can only apply anything on top of that once you have that consistency, once you have that unified clean data, in order to do anything meaningful out of that, and then to do any decision making out of that in the future. That's essentially what Robot Manager is about when we come to robotics. And when I say robotics, it's not just about the robot you see today, but autonomous vehicles in general, aerial drones, and we're also looking at unmanned vessels very soon, hopefully. Okay. Give you. I know that some of our audiences are very well versed in robotics already, but for the benefit of those who are not, let me give you a very real example of what I mean by this. All the robots see their world differently. Okay. The first robot is a Chinese-made robot. Okay. This is how he sees the world. The second robot is an Israeli robot, although it's also built in Shenzhen. That's how he sees the world. And then the third robot is a local Singapore startup. That's how he sees the world. But again, it's also built in China. Okay, so yeah, that's how they all see their worlds in different manners. What we do, the first thing that we do as a unifying platform, Robot Manager, is to make sure that we consolidate that view. So users can see that in the same manner. So sorry, we have to toggle because our live demo is in my browser. Okay, so Robot Manager is a cloud application. It's also an enterprise grade. We can deploy anywhere. But anyway, it's displayed on a browser. So okay, we go to the map view. Okay, so if you are a gallery owner, or you are the building management or a IT department that controls, that need to oversee a lot of different robots within your premise, from different suppliers, from different vendors all across the world. The first thing that you want to see is you want something that you understand. Okay? Those ones that the robot vendors provide is not going to be useful to you or to anybody that comes in to see the system. or just to see what your premise is about. You need something that you understand, you need something that your users understand, your stakeholders understand, and you need to be able to have the tools to add in the different points of interest that is meaningful to you as a user. Bear in mind that an IT user is very, very different than an operational user. Okay, a cleaning staff looking at a map is very, very different than someone from the IT team or someone from the management when you're trying to tell them, I have this here and there. Okay. So besides that, what we also give you in some occasions, especially when you're talking about inspection robots that you saw earlier, you may have multiple sites. So either you have a large premise with different robots running around, or you have multiple sites with either one or two robots running around. So what you have is a global view of what your sites are, and then you zoom in to the particular site that you need to take note of. Usually that comes in the form of an alert, something that has happened. Okay, but then bear in mind that if you're working remotely, controlling robots, you definitely won't have that know all the locations by heart. So this is where you go into a 3D view. Okay, here you can add in different assets that you have. These could be other IoT devices, IP cameras, other mobile units, or human that you have on the ground that you know you can call upon or utilize. Okay, so you get an understanding of what the surrounding environments are. Where's my 3D view? Okay, let me reconnect. Let us reconnect to internet. Okay, so again, doesn't matter whether you're looking at a building view, a 2D plane view, or a 3D view. That gives you that understanding of that geospatial relationship between what the robot is at versus the environment that is in, for you to make a decision on what you need it to do next. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are. And to me, I would think that a lot of the jobs in the future, you will have these jobs where people control remotely. Doesn't have to be in the same time zone also. In whether you're talking about autonomous vehicles, robo-taxis that I mentioned earlier that I'm very looking forward to. There will always be edge cases, a small percentage of times where you need a human intervention. That robots, AI, automation just can't handle. This is what you will be doing. Okay, maybe we go back to the floor of presentation, Lawrence. Lawrence, sorry. Okay, so this is where you're looking at knowing what your missions are, visualizing what your operations will be, whether you're looking at a single fleet or different fleets across different locations. Okay, setting up jobs are very, very easy. Setting up jobs are very, very easy. So if you're looking at an inspection robot or a delivery robot, it takes a few clicks to set the job, set the mission. If you want to inspect something on a daily basis, weekly basis, asking a human to do that, you sure will have lapse. Asking a robot to do that takes a few clicks, and if the robot can't complete his mission, you will get notified. Okay, so that is the part of things that we are automating. That things repetitive, mundane, that you really can't get anybody to want to do it. And then I mentioned lastly, if you really need to, as you also have seen, you can teleoperate robots where you need human intervention. Okay? I really think this will be a big chunk of future jobs, more than call centers maybe. Oh, actually, call centers will be replaced by AI or chatbots, and then humans will be doing this. Okay, so yeah, there are core features, and then based on that four core features, we build very specific applications for delivery end users. These laborious users on the ground, you can't expect them to log into a browser and then learn how to operate the UI. In some of the occasions, you can't even ask them to download an app of the phone and then learn how to use the app. Sometimes you have to be a very simple dashboard, start and stop. Okay, doesn't matter how you represent that. And then that is all consuming Robot Manager API as you would with things like AWS API or Azure API.